Hey everybody, welcome back to Review a Day, episode number 225. My name is Leo and thank you so much for joining me. Head over to dampercast.com or nitpickit.com. You know the routine, check out the podcasts I do. Thank you in advance. But I'm glad you're here because today I'm going to tell you about this new Danny McBride, James Franco, medieval stoner flick, Your Highness. Directed by David Gordon Green, the guy who did Pineapple Express a couple of years back. This movie, it's got a really pretty damn good cast. We get Danny McBride, James Franco, Natalie Portman, Toby Jones, Zoe Deschanel, Rasmus Hardiker, I think is maybe how you pronounce his name, who I liked quite a bit on the Steve Coogan series Saxondale. And this movie centers around two princes, one played by Danny McBride, the other by James Franco. Danny McBride is Thaddeus, and he's kind of the pot-smoking, bumbling half of the two. He spends all of his time with like a pet iguana, he's high all the time, he's an idiot. His brother Fabius, played by James Franco, ends up saving a Rapunzel-style princess, and he's gonna marry her, but at the last moment, Justin Theroux comes in, who plays an evil warlock. He steals her, and so Danny McBride and his brother set out on a quest to attempt to win back James Franco's love. Your Highness is an interesting film because I think of the level of talent that is in here. David Gordon Green is a guy who actually used to direct kind of real movies. He directed a movie called George Washington, Snow Angels, All the Real Girls. He made a lot of really low-budget films about everyday people in kind of contemporary America. And Danny McBride, who wrote the screenplay with Ben Best for this flick, I really dig them. I loved The Foot Fist Way. I also really love Eastbound and Down. So I really definitely felt like this movie was going to be for me if I was really going to dig it. And I don't think Your Highness works. And it is too bad because there is so much talent involved here. But I think ultimately one of the reasons this movie just isn't all that funny is because I don't really feel like they're spoofing the fantasy genre. I think they made a fantasy film and they just kind of plugged a Danny McBride character into the middle of it. And it just isn't that funny. And I think it's too bad because Danny McBride, half the appeal of what he's done so far is the fact that he highlights white trash people in North Carolina and Georgia. And you really do feel like you're getting kind of a sneak peek into a different world. You don't really get that with Your Highness. They're going more for Lord of the Rings spoof jokes that I don't think really work. And I do have a lot of affection for really stupid kind of stoner comedies. I think they're misunderstood. But I don't think Your Highness really goes far enough. I think they could have had more pot jokes. I think they could have made it even stupider because so much of this movie, by the final 20-25 minutes, it turns into just kind of every generic action fantasy film you've seen where they're shooting fireballs at each other across the room. And you're thinking, like, this is a Danny McBride, James Franco stoner film. Stick with that. Stick with your guns, which is the fact that you have James Franco and Danny McBride starring front and center in your film. It's a little too faithful to the genre. There's such a great cast. And I think you could forgive just about all of that if this movie was really, really funny, which it's kind of funny, and I think Danny McBride has some good one-liners where he just delivers incredibly stupid dialogue with a really straight face. It never really hums or, you know, starts clicking the way I think a really great comedy needs to. It's an interesting mess, but it's a mess nonetheless. I'm going to give Your Highness a 2 out of 5. You really should check out Eastbound and Down or even, Observe and Report from probably 2 years ago, which I think people really did not know what to make of. It's a fucking crazy movie. It's super dark. So check out Observe and Report, and I would say skip Your Highness. Head over to nitpickit.com or dampercast.com, and I thank you in advance. See you guys next time.